Hey everybody, Aaron here. Welcome back to an anime review. Today we look at Food Wars, or Shokugeki no Soma Season 3, Episode 8. Now, I will say that I am so happy about this week's episode because it reminds me of all the elements I love about Food Wars. Like, honestly, everything that happened in this week's episode was just awesome. So we continue on with the whole Shokugeki between Soma and Eizen, and it leads to some very interesting moments, to say the least. I love some of the facial expressions and some of the animations on this week's episode, especially with like how they ate Aizen's food and they were like, "Oh my god!" Their faces and the explosions in their faces were just crazy as heck. Like, I love that. It reminds me of what I love about Food Wars when it does the crazy kind of outlandish faces. Like, I mean, come on, I've eaten some good food before. I think all of us have at least one time in our lives or another, but I don't think you make that face. Like, maybe if you have a camera on yourself and you're like, "Oh wow, this is great," but even then, I don't think you make those faces. Especially the faces when, Soma actually gave out his meal to everyone and just blew them away. Like, even I think it was Aizen whose face like turned blood red because he didn't want to admit how great Soma's food was. And, obviously he won because of that. Even the judges couldn't let Aizen win, which I thought was kind of interesting in its own right. Like, so you're saying because his food actually legit made these people who are being paid off decide, hey, screw him, we're gonna still vote for Soma. That's a little interesting, but it's Soma. What do you expect? He was gonna, of course, win this one. This is an obvious win. Meanwhile, the Polar Star is defending against the various invaders, and it's funny because apparently the headmaster of the Polar Star had dealt with this before. It has like all these tools, the hard hats, things for them to fight back. They were using like water hoses and stuff like that, and like pipes and stuff like that, because apparently even in the past they had actually been invaded before, and it was during a whole different time period. So I was like, oh, that's a little goofy, but I think it's funny at the same time. And we see that Erina is getting really used to this place. Like, she thinks they're all weirdos because, I mean, realistically everyone at Polar Star is kind of weird, but she understands that there's something special about that place just because they're weird. It makes them all unique people. So I like this episode. I thought it was a very simple episode, but it was also pretty cool. Next week we're going to see some interesting things because Soma basically went out to the camera and told everyone flat out that he's not back down. So I'm very curious what Soma's next plan of action will be, because it seems like he flies by the seat of his pants sometimes, but I think also Soma sometimes understands what he's going to do first, and it's crazy when he does because it makes for some interesting entertainment, to say the least. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. I hope you enjoyed this review. As always, if you do, you know what to do. I will talk to you guys later. Have a great, blessed night, everyone. God bless you all. Bye-bye.